I'd like to entertain a motion to come out of executive, please. So moved. I have a motion on the floor by Secretary Tishewala, seconded by Councilman Shackelford. Any motions that I need to entertain for the council at this time?
First, we need to make a motion to move it.
Excuse me, I need to call for the vote. Thank you. I'm getting a little gun shy here.
Secretary Tishewala?
Yes.
Councilwoman Curry?
Yes. Yes.
Councilman Red Eagle?
Yes.
Councilman Rebar?
Yes.
Councilman Shackelford?
Yes.
Chairman Waller?
Yes.
Councilman Big Horse?
Yes.
Motion passes.
We are back in order, call back to order. I'd like to entertain any motions that comes out of executive this time. I have the one. I'm letting you get back to your desk, I don't know where. I'll just ask for the motion. I need a motion to entertain the request over the email from the Attorney General. Council.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, I make a motion that we authorize our Chairman Waller to advise in writing to the Attorney General, advising the Attorney General that we would like his assistance in collecting the amount of funds owed to us from Gary Lester or his business entity, I believe to be Lester Well Service.
That's correct.
That was paid to him for the acquisition of pipe racks to be used for our plugging well program that were not delivered. We are asking the Attorney General's assistance in collecting those funds owed to us.
I second. Second. I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Rivard, seconded by Councilman Red Eagle. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the question, please.
Councilwoman Curry?
Yes.
Councilman Red Eagle?
Yes.
Councilman Rebar?
Yes.
Councilman Shackelford?
Yes.
Chairman Waller?
Yes.
Councilman Big Horse?
Yes.
Secretary Tishewala?
Yes.
Motion passes.
And thank you. And council, I'd like to, that's all we have out of executive. I'd like to entertain a motion on our item 9C, the development grants before you. I need a resolution on it. Application for tribal implementation grant bipartisan infrastructure law in section 40601 orphan well program. Council.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. This has to do with the plugging funds that we have been pursuing for the last year and a half. The bipartisan infrastructure law of the United States has funds set aside for tribal entities for well plugging, restoration, and remediation. I'd like to make a motion to approve the application for that part of the grant referred to as the tribal development grant in the amount of $1 million, which is attached to this resolution, and I'll read the resolution that I'd like approved. Therefore, be it resolved, the Osage Mineral Council hereby approves the attached tribal development grant application for submission to the Department of Interior, subject to any minor revisions and additional information necessary for the submission of the application. The application amount is $1 million.
I need a second, please.
Second.
Second, I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Rivard, seconded by Secretary Tishewala. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call for a question, Lacey.
Councilman Red Eagle?
Yes.
Councilman Rebar?
Yes.
Councilman Shackelford?
Yes.
Chairman Waller?
Yes.
Councilman Big Horse?
Yes.
Secretary Tishewala?
Yes.
Councilwoman Curry?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. I'd entertain an application with tribal implementation grant bipartisan infrastructure law, section 40601, orphan well program, grant application for the 49 million. So moved. I need a second. Second, I have a motion on the floor by Second Chair Chichewala, seconded by Councilman Bighorse. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, call for the question, please.
Councilman Rebar,
Yes.
Councilman Shackelford,
Yes.
Chairman Waller,
Yes.
Councilman Bighorse,
Yes.
Second Chair Chichewala,
Yes.
Councilwoman Curry,
Yes.
Councilman Red Eagle.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. That takes care of the agenda item to that point. Joseph, entertain me. What does it show next on the agenda?
APAC, Josh Davis.
I got it. Thank you, sir. Last item I show under old business is the lease that we talked about with Superintendent APAC and its 214 lease, Mr. Josh Davis. I believe that the superintendent requested that we put the royalty amount on the resolution that approved it. Mr. Davis, please come join us. I appreciate your patience.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me.
I just read into the record over our 214 lease. And as you saw, the superintendent asked us that we did not put the royalty amount in it.
Yes, sir.
Lacey, would you help me with that? What's the criteria we need to add or change the resolution?
Well, discussing with Tammy, they're not actually selling anything, they're just moving it to the end. So if you guys want to amend the resolution to put a royalty rate in there, whatever, 10% of zero is still zero.
10%.
I suggest waiving it because it's all staying on the site, it's just moving to the end of the thing. So, but for you to waive it, you need a resolution, you need to rescind the previous resolution and do a new resolution.
To show the royalty value in the resolution.
Not if you're gonna waive it.
Okay, it wasn't waived in the first one.
Right, there was a 214.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Council, I'd entertain a motion to rescind. Lacey, read into record the resolution.
You happen to have it?
I
My
don't have any
computer.
resolution.
Oh, wait, I did, okay. It's resolution 5-53 granting APAC a 214 lease for the ODOT CO 195-STP 157C PM project on the east side of Hominy, State Highway 20.
I'd entertain a motion, council, to rescind that.
So moved.
So moved. I need a second. Have a second. Councilman Red Eagle makes a motion, seconded by Councilman Shackelford. No discussion necessary. Call for the question to rescind.
Councilman Shackelford,
Yes.
Chairman Waller,
Yes.
Councilman Bighorse,
Yes.
Second Chair Chichewala,
Yes.
Councilwoman Curry,
Yes.
Councilman Red Eagle,
Yes.
Councilman Rebar.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. And would you like the next one now?
Yes. To waive this thing.
I'd like to entertain a motion that we waive for the APAC 214 lease for Mr. Davis off of the motion that we just rescinded. I need to entertain a motion to allow me to send a letter. I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Red Eagle, seconded by Councilman Shackelford. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the question.
Chairman Waller,
Yes.
Councilman Bighorse,
Yes.
Second Chair Chichewala,
Yes.
Councilwoman Curry,
Yes. Yes.
Councilman Red Eagle,
Yes.
Councilman Rebar,
Yes.
Councilman Shackelford.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion is passes. Lacey will prepare you the letter, the waiver, and I'll sign it, and you're set to go.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate
Thank you
your
to the council.
patience.
I appreciate you guys' time.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. I have asked that, we had item number 9E, Councilman Red Eagle, you had talked about a lease, which was, needing our attention.
Yes.
MIT, come join us. We've heard some comments today, but I'd like for you to fill us in at this time.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Brown approached me about a EPA problem that he has at MIT that is supposed to be executed, and there's a delay in it. I thought of some suggestions that Paul brought up, Councilman Rebar. He said that Mr. Kennedy, Caleb Kennedy, he said that that's not a problem. Maybe we should write Mr. Kennedy or get a hold of him somehow. And also the ENR, maybe we could get their help, because they have pretty much contact the EPA. And that's just some of the suggestions that I had. And maybe y'all have a better suggestion, but that Mr. Kennedy, if he's available to do these, let's get a hold of him and get it done.
Councilman
Yeah,
LaVar.
Chairman, thank you. From what I understand, and we'll hear it firsthand from Mr. Brown, this particular test that he needs done on his well, like a lot of our wells in Osage County, require a certain type of a test using nitrogen. And particularly with wells that have packers set with open perforations behind the pipe, up the hole behind the packer, above the packer. Use nitrogen to block it off. And it used to be that our local office, what used to be the UIC program, Underground Injection Control, now the ENR, they used to be able to perform the nitrogen, witness and approve the nitrogen test. At some point recently, and I don't know how recent, but in recent months or years, that authority to be able to witness those tests have been taken away from our local office and from Mr. Caleb Kennedy's, authority. And it has to be done through the EPA office, Region 6 out of Dallas. That is what is the backlog, and that's what's taking so much time. And so, I think Mr. Brown can probably tell us more details.
Let's turn it
And
over
how we might be able to expedite this type of testing.
Thank you. Mr. Brown, is that where we're at
Yes,
this
sir.
moment?
Thank you, Council, for
It's
letting me
your
come
floor.
forward. The lease has been down since, April of 2000. It's a very small lease, a couple of wells, it's barrel and a half a day. But the disposal well is one of those, like Mr. Rebar, Councilman Rebar said, has perforations above the packer, which requires a nitrogen test. I was just talking to Cliff Taylor outside about how they do that. I've done it before, but it's been a long time and I didn't remember. So you hook up to the top of the tubing, you pressure up down the tubing, and rather on the backside where the normally test to test the casing. Since you already know you have perforations up and above the packer, you pressure down through the tubing. So basically all you're doing is testing the tubing to make sure it has good integrity. So, but in order to do that, Mr. Lynn also informed me too, that EPA requires an engineer to be here. And we no longer have an engineer here at the EPA office. Caleb Kennedy has been, and I've talked to him 2 or 3 times, and he said he's been trained and he can do it, but they won't allow him to go out and do it without, and apparently it's because they need an engineer to be with him. So we don't have
They
one.
won't certify him to be able to perform that.
Not on his own, not by himself, right? So that's, it's my understanding that, I'm just one little well, but there's multiple wells in the county that are the same situation that need to be tested, and they're not able to get tested. So I don't know what the solution is. It sounds like we either need to get an engineer here, full time, or make appointments for someone to come out of Dallas, or, I don't know. I know Caleb's doing the best he can, he's just not able to do it.
Okay, excuse me, Councilman Reddick.
The BIA, thank you, Chairman. The BIA has an engineer they've hired. Is it possible for him to witness this? They just need an engineer to witness it. Why don't we write a letter to the BIA and request that Mr. Mr. Kohler. Witness
Yeah,
this
Kohler.
And witness this and expedite this situation. That'd be my suggestion. I'm willing to make a motion to do that.
It's one of them. Council.
Yes, my first thought about that is Stephen Kohler is a petroleum engineer, and he's swamped already.
Right.
So that's problematic already. But I imagine this type of approval may have to be certified specifically in this area
Yes.
of underground control. It's a specialty area. I would think that maybe Stephen Kohler might be able to get certified easy enough because of his background, but even if he was, he's not available to do these things. He's already covered up. We heard the superintendent just tell us that. So I think what I'd like to do, I think we need to put some heat on the EPA Region 6, find out why they don't have somebody available to be down here at our beck and call to do this. So maybe we should initiate this through the ENR office, who
As contact.
is, because they're doing a federal function already. That's been either compact or contracted in some sort to the nation. So they've already got that relationship. They are under the EPA. This office here locally is working, basically doing the EPA's work for them under a contract compact arrangement. So I say we start there, we get with Caleb and his director above him and have them, maybe we reach out to them, put pressure on them to have them on our behalf, reach out to Region 6 or to advise us how best to expedite this to get this, to accomplish what we want to accomplish, which we understand is either maybe to waive requiring an engineer, which they probably won't do, but maybe to certify our local guys, Caleb and the new guy that they're hiring on, that's being trained now, to get them certified so they can do it.
I got a question. I mean, like Mr. Kennedy, if he's been trained to do it, and then they're bringing another guy on to train him to do it, and they're both not capable or allowed to do the function, I don't get it.
Not this particular test.
Yeah,
I think that the right answer is for us as a council to write a letter to the Natural Resources Department and ask them what criteria is holding up getting this test done. And let's just start it from there so they can tell us whatever it is. We're only guessing now, but you already know what it is. They don't have availability of the engineer to sign off on it. But it's a federal requirement that they're putting you under in our reservation, so maybe they need to have it fixed. But, do we need a resolution for
Let me
that?
say
Monday?
this, we've already approved it, you already wrote a letter, basically for this subject, we just didn't know the details that we know now. We basically learned from our letter that the holdup is not at our local office doing the normal MIT test. We've learned
Did
that
we
it's
write
being,
that letter? You signed it?
We did write a letter, she responded basically saying, I'm not aware of the situation.
Got
Can you
yeah,
get more details?
she wrote back saying she wasn't aware there's a backlog. Now I think we authorize you or instruct you to write a follow-up letter to that same individual and say, we have since learned that the issue has to do with the ones that needed to be tested using nitrogen, that the local witnesses are not certified to do it. And
Detail.
yeah, so what do we need to do? And it'll be asking her.
Do I need another resolution to continue the correspondence with NNR?
I'm gonna say say no.
Yeah, I don't think you do.
Follow up.
Let's just get the letter out for Mr. Brown, let's just go with that. And then if we do need any muscle behind it, I'll bring it back to the council and we'll have a resolution and then they have to respond to that. Because I think then I fall in the criteria of this. It's their law. They didn't have any problem with this before and they shouldn't have one now. You can't tell me in 10 months that they couldn't have someone. The closest one's in Anadarko working BLM. They should have just sent him up or let him sign off on this and then went on. Anyway, we'll have the letter out. Council?
Chairman, I think the more pressure we put on them, this will be a follow-up letter, right?
Yes, sir, and also it's gonna extrapolate the necessity of something you and I and the council's already talked about is, how are you taking care of us when you don't have the manpower? You can't ever keep telling us that. And brother, he's right, man, you're giving us the same thing, and you know what you said. We can't keep accepting that. The answer's not gonna change. Until we change it, we'll get a letter out. And then I wanna keep in touch with you. How long does it take them to get a guy
No, we
to
don't.
come down and watch a 2-hour element? And we're only shooting for the PSI on the pipe, aren't we?
Right.
The 300?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's that high.
I was gonna hit Joe, but yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Now, my
Yes, sir.
concern at this point, you said that you've been shut in on account of this, not being able to use this disposal well. So you're not producing no lease.
No,
So is the lease in jeopardy of being terminated?
it very well could be. They have, I visited with Cammie about it, a while back, and, she said she had no intention of terminating the lease without, due to this issue.
Sure of that.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that Cammie is, a little bit lenient. But I don't know, I could foresee, I would think that you ought to keep in touch with her.
Mhm. She asked me to write a letter to describe the situation, and, I haven't followed up with that.
Yeah, because I hate, because Nixon, he'd be back in here, I can just envision him being back in here 2 months ago. Well, guess what happened? Superintendent sent me this drop dead letter, and now I've gotta plug those 3 wells, and then we're gonna go screaming, or I am, and I'm gonna be doing all this, and going, don't you, those wells are capable of
Almost
production.
done, brother.
I'll fly away, but, I forgot we weren't.
She's aware of the situation.
I just wish I'd had my camera ready.
I forgot we weren't.
She's aware of the situation because I brought it up today.
We all are, brother, we all
All
are.
right.
We are going to follow suit with yours.
Okay.
You just keep, Lacey with your correspondence, and we'll see what the answer is on that, and then we'll come back, decide what our next move is. But as far as protecting your element, we'll just keep it up. I don't want you to have to worry about something else that's out of your control.
Okay.
And the BIA, I'm glad to hear that, because if there is a trip up, come back to us and we'll fix that.
Okay, yeah, she assured me that there wouldn't be any.
I've heard that before.
Well,
Almost sounds like CUP, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of.
It was, yeah.
But thank you, Mr. Brown. We'll take care of it. We appreciate your
Thank you
patience.
for waiting, Alan.
thank you.
Thank you. Council, with that, I have some meeting minutes to approve.
Chairman? No, I didn't get them done, I'm sorry.
Okay, with that, I'd like to strike that effort. Can I move down to adjournment? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Second. I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Shackelford, seconded by Councilman Red Eagle, without any discussion. Call for the question, please.
Councilman Big Horse,
Yes.
Second Chair Tishewala,
Oh.
Yes, I said 2 o'clock.
Councilwoman Curry. Councilwoman Curry,
Yes.
Councilman Red Eagle,
Yes.
Councilman Rebar,
Yes.
Councilman Shackelford,
Yes.
Chairman Waller.
I'll call her.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Council. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all.
Good.
Like you do. Just chomping at the bed. Scary. Good thing there's
Thank you,
nothing-
Lacy.
Good thing there's
Thank
not
you.
pork there.
Oh, shoot.
Do that all the time. We sit there like that one guy on,
Yeah, good.
that Texas guy sitting there
I don't want him till he puts that leg up, like Captain. Don't do it, don't do it.
Let's see,
like. That's what I'm talking.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good
That
look.
looks pretty good, don't
It
it?
ain't bad.
He's always had a hat head. He always has.
Paul said that whenever we go down there, says he'll wear a headdress.
No.
All right.
Paul.
No, otter cap, otter turban.
I want a headdress. I'll be green with envy that he comes up like Shaq did, but that's cool. I like girls